love driving. All right, well, come on. Let's make this more interesting than usual. Oh, all right. This looks a little more interesting. Cool.
All right, Zoe, Ajit's gonna be here in
15 minutes.
And you need to be sure and ask him about
Codecs. Don't worry, I have everything under control, I promise.
Wonderful. I'm taking the day off. This is the first time I've been able to take a break, and, well, the lab is in good hands.
Hello? You finally have the lab to yourself. I have a fun puzzle for you. What? Who is this? JD, is that you? What is going on?
Hello?
Hey, JD, do you know anything about these weird letters?
Oh, is that my fan mail? No, I don't know anything about that. I gotta run. See you later. I wonder how they make these images 3D.
Hey JD.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Tech Museum.
Sorry about that. Where were we?
So last week you met Laith, and I'm Jeff, and I'm a curator at the museum. And today we're in Silicon Valley Innovation Gallery.
Awesome. This is craziness.
Have you ever wondered how math connects to movies or the games you play?
Does it?
Well, NVIDIA has an exhibit here that shows you how it does.
Let's check it out.
So what they're doing here is they're showing how digital simulations are created. And all of these virtual models that you see in games or in movies are created often by polygons, which are just simple shapes that when they come together can create almost any form, a building, a mountain range, or even a human character. And if you want more detail or something to be more organic looking, then you just add more polygons. Also, if you want something to be more photorealistic, you'll add a texture. And it can look like a desert scene, or it could even be something fantastical like a polka dot mountain range.
Awesome.
These virtual objects, all defined by mathematics and moved through mathematics, end up in a simulation, and they can become a game like the one we have right here. Inside that game, there's a physics engine, and that physics engine basically has rules how to make things fall, how to make things fly, how to make smoke come and go, or how to make something even explode. Want to try out this game?
Sure.
The trick of this game is you want to go really fast at the beginning, and then once you're sort of through and past the bridge that goes over the canyon, then slow down right before you hit the finish line. If you slow down too early, you won't meet the finish line. You slow down too late, you'll go over the cliff. And you can see the physics engine working here. It shows the smoke, it shows the way that friction would occur with a train going along the tracks, it shows the way his face might move, and it even shows the way things explode as you go past them, or how you might eject and fall and crash over the cliff. So I have more to show you. Let's look at this exhibit over here.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Zoe.
Ajit.
Nice to meet you.
Professor Bell asked me to come and introduce some concepts about codecs.
So what is a codec exactly?
Well, actually, a codec is just basically two words that are put together. It's an encoder and a decoder, so they short-formed it and made it codec. And the idea behind it is it's a computer program that can take a data stream and encode it into a smaller data set so it can actually be transmitted to some device that can decode it. That's
Right.
what a codec is.
So does it only take digital signals, or?
Yeah, so typically we refer to codecs that are programs and not so much about how they're taken from analog or digital. So you could have a analog codec, but typically you have mostly digital codecs.
Okay, so then how does the process work?
So there are different types of codecs. One's a lossy codec and the other's a lossless codec. And the lossy codecs, typically what they do is they look at the human visual system and try to come up with ways to take out data but make it still look like the original. And so the idea is that you can optimize the picture in such a way that it's going to look and feel just like the original, but it actually has less data.
Okay, so then what do they each do?
So what we do is we actually look at, let's say it's an image codec.
Okay.
So we look at how your eye works because it's an image and we want to accurately represent
Okay.
what the image looks like. And so what the eye has actually has rods and cones, and those are light sensing devices and color sensing devices.
Oh, okay.
And we know that color sensing pixels in your eye are fewer than the light sensing. So one thing we can do is we can actually throw out some of those color pieces of information and still get an accurate picture that your eye will look at and won't know the difference.
Okay, so basically you're trying to more closely replicate what the human eye can't see.
That's right. So we're trying to improve image quality based on your visual system and understanding how humans look at it. And you know, we look at brightness and color. And the way we look at brightness is we actually measure brightness typically in nits. It's actually another short form. It's a random word they selected for a measurement
Oh, really?
for candelas per meter square. And that tells you
Okay.
how many, it's actually a representation of how many candles there are and how much light that puts out in a room.
Oh, I
So
see.
it's, but we just call it nits just for the sake of calling nits. And for a representation, it makes it faster than saying candelas per meter square.
Oh, I see.
So now when you're looking at something, we can actually represent how much light is coming to your
Yeah.
eye based on these nits. So that's basically what we're doing is we're trying to measure how your eye looks at things and measures things and how it represents a picture in your head.
Okay, so then how would math play a role in this?
So math, I mean, it plays a huge role in all of this because every piece of data is just a number.
Okay.
And in order to encode and decode these numbers, we have to use math. And they're just, the whole codec is a implementation of mathematical instructions that take this data and, you know, the multiply, add, divide, average.
Okay.
And, you know, that's how we kind of make things, make the data smaller and represent colors and numbers. So
Yeah.
math is a huge deal when it
Okay.
comes to image
So,
forming.
so basically you're saying that with the right codec, you can break any specific code.
Pretty much.
It's interesting.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
I'm really worried. One of my friends is living on the street.
I know someone who can help.
Who?
1-800-RUNAWAY.org. They help kids having a rough time at home, in school, or on the street. Trust the National Runaway Switchboard. If you're having a hard time, get online or call to chat now.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
what exactly does Dolby do?
So there's three things that Dolby does. We try to help the content creators, the content producers, basically, make the best possible content. And in order to do that, we try to push the boundaries of technology. And we try to come up with the second part, which is we try to come up with the best technologies that the manufacturers of these devices can make so that people can experience. And the ultimate goal is for the consumer at the end to have the best entertainment experience and to be drawn into that story. So that's kind of what Dolby does.
Okay, so the best way to do that would be to improve the picture and the sound, right?
Right. So currently we have a monitor that helps the producers make the best color and the best sound, and we're constantly testing products in all these three different areas, basically, to make the best product. For example, these monitors that we do, what we do is we actually have an LED-based monitor that represents colors so accurately that the producer doesn't have to worry about whether the color is accurate or not.
Right, so that's how you test it.
That's right. So, and we actually go in and we pull apart the monitors and come up with the best ways to make the monitor look right. And so we have to test the angles of how the monitor looks when you look at it straight on versus slightly in an axis and things like that.
Okay. So, well, I never really thought that geometry would play such a big role in making images better, but I guess the angles would make a difference. So, what are you currently working on at Dolby?
So we're trying to create a whole bunch of different things. I mean, we're trying to create the next set of standards that basically improve, formats and improve the technology that will enhance storytelling, basically. So the consumer can really enjoy and be absorbed into whatever they're watching or listening.
Yeah. So what do you do as the director of engineering at Dolby?
Well, I can't tell you everything that I'm doing. But I can tell you that we're trying to improve imaging technology, and everything that we do is about improving existing technology and taking it to the next level.
You can't tell me anything, just little.
Just a little.
Something little.
Okay, so we have we have an audio technology that's out today in the movie theaters called Atmos. So it's beyond surround sound. Think of it that way.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so now it feels like 3D audio. Right? It's really cool. And then we also have glassesless 3D TV. So you have a TV without glasses. You can watch 3D TV.
So I don't have to wear the dorky ones that make me look like a nerd.
Yeah, you don't have to look like you're in the 60s anymore. And there's another thing that we're doing is we're trying to standardize a format called JPEG HDR.
Which is?
Basically, HDR is high dynamic range. And
high dynamic, okay.
So we can actually capture the different light levels that I was telling you about, all the way from the darks to all the way to the really brights.
Oh, wow.
And represent that all in one picture. And that's what we're trying to standardize. That's some of the stuff we're doing. We're doing a lot of things that I can't tell you about.
Of course not. So you mentioned 3D TV without glasses. So obviously that means I don't have to wear the glasses anymore, but how does that work? So
there's basically, there's a lenticular array. It's a little tiny magnifying glasses, if you want to call it that, on the screen, and that allows you to get multiple dimensions of an object. What you're looking at is light specifically steered towards each eye.
Oh,
so you have one picture that's going to this eye and another picture that's going to this eye without having to use those glasses. And basically that's what those glasses were doing before. Is you're trying to filter out one picture to this eye and another picture to the other eye.
Oh, wow.
So, but we can do it now without glasses.
That sounds like something from a movie or something, like it's all sci-fi.
It is, but it's real fi. So, okay, well, I got to get back to the lab and start working on things.
Well, thank you very much. I learned a lot.
Good to meet you.
Hi, Zoe.
Oh, hi, Professor. How was your day off?
Oh, it's great. I just wanted to check in. Did Ajit already leave?
Yeah, Dolby sounds like a great company.
Dolby's a great company. They've done a lot for people who love movies and music. In the mid-'70s, Ray Dolby brought his company to the Bay Area. And at first, they made technology to improve the quality of sound in movies. And in 1975, they introduced Dolby Stereo, which was a new format for sound. See, originally all sound recordings were just in one channel called mono. And, you know, later, stereo was developed with 2 channels, left and right. But Dolby also invented a way to encode digital audio onto a strip of 35mm film by embedding the signal into the tiny space in between the sprocket holes. See, Dolby increased the number of channels to 5 by adding a center channel and 2 stereo channels behind the listener. And that 0.1, that's talking about the subwoofer with all the bass. And this is called surround sound 5.1. They also made innovations in digital amplification. In 2010, Dolby released 7.1 surround with even more channels. And now Dolby has released the Dolby Atmos system, which can be installed in theaters to make it sound like sound is coming not just from all sides, but from above and below as well. Atmos uses special technology that doesn't just send a signal to one speaker at a time. It sends little parts of the signals to each of the many channels in a way that allows a complete 3D recreation of sound in the real world. Atmos can send separate signals to up to 64 different channels. Add in the latest 3D high-definition video technology and you can see how far movies have come in a short time.
That's pretty cool. Oh, looks like we got a field report.
Whoa, what does this thing do?
This is Liquid Galaxy featuring Google Earth. And basically you can navigate anywhere in the world. It's done by setting up satellites and airplane that take pictures of the globe. They stitch them together and they create basically a model of the world. And then you can navigate any place you want to. Just type in an address.
So wait, anybody could access this information whenever they want?
Anybody. It's on the internet. You can download the app and it's constantly being updated by Google. But you could also add your own models using SketchUp, which is an application that does 3D models from Google.
Interesting. So that's what they do if a new building is built, right?
Well, they would do it for new building, or if they just wanted to add more kind of three-dimensional aspects to it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Do you want to navigate?
Sure.
Where do you want to go?
Can we go to Mars?
We can. It's
Really?
not just the globe, it's actually the galaxy.
Whoa.
Click on that.
That's Mars?
Yeah.
There's cities in Mars?
I don't know if there's a city in Mars.
Let's go to Aram Chaos.
They're places. And there's a lot of math in this as well. Just like in the NVIDIA games, you need math, one, just to set up satellites and for the planes to go up. You need math to stitch things together. But also, you need math just to be able to navigate a small portion of the data. There's so much data in there, if you had all of it loaded at one time, it would just slow down. But the algorithms let you see just a slice of it and see exactly what you want really quickly.
Cool. And anybody could access this information whenever they want.
Exactly. So it's on the internet, you can download the application, and people use things like this on their cell phone all the time.
Word. Well, thank you so much for showing me around.
Well, thanks for dropping by, and feel free to explore the rest of the museum.
All right.
That was great, JD. You again? What is going on? Is that you, Professor? What?
Well, I'm back. That bit of R&R was just the ticket.
Professor, there's something wrong with the never mind. So, do you know anything about codes?
Sure. A simple scientific process can crack any code.
Okay.
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Hey, do you think that maybe you could help me with this code?
Well, it looks like might be a simple substitution code. Where'd it come from?
Could you help me solve it?
I don't have time for games.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's too difficult for you to figure out.
Oh, no. Challenge accepted. First, let me teach you a little bit of something about it. Codes.
Okay.
In fact, specifically substitution codes. So, maybe you have a microchip and you need to tell it some complex instructions, but a microchip is like this big, so obviously a lot of words and a lot of explanation like I'm doing right now is too much to put on a microchip. So you've got to convert all of your instructions into a code that's very, very concise and space economical.
Right.
So I'll show you a code that goes all the way back to the American Civil War. And it's a substitution code, just like what this may or may not be. Codes started as a way to send secret messages. But now codes are used for everything. So you use them in your text messages when you put that little, the A with the
symbol.
Yeah, exactly. It's an at symbol. See, now it means at. It doesn't originally mean at, but it does now because we've substituted this for something else. So code can be extremely simple or extremely complex. It depends on what you're trying to do with it. All right, first you draw an alphabet.
Nice.
Okay.
So how is this going to help with my code?
Well, once you understand the basic principles at work, you can take this principle and apply it to just about any code there is.
Okay. So what have we created here?
This is a code key, and this is your basic instructions for deciphering the codes.
Okay.
So we'll call that 1 and we'll call that 0.
Okay.
Say I want to write a message that just is a simple word, like hello. So we write out hello. And now if we want to use this key, we would put a prefix of 1 and then S.
Oh, you just
exactly
substitute the letters.
So H becomes S, E becomes V, O, or L becomes O, which is fun because O becomes L, and 1 S vul equals hello. And the person you're sending it to has this key. Nobody else has this key. So they'll be the only ones who can understand this.
Okay.
Well, unless they know about substitution codes too. You know, you get a code breaker. What are you gonna do? Now, if you want to use the other code, you'd say 0. So H becomes 8, E becomes 5, L becomes 12, and O becomes 15. And so that means hello. Well, 1 SVOOL or 0, 8, 5, 12, 12, 15.
So basically you're just substituting the letters or the numbers with what looks like messed up gibberish or whatever until you can figure out what number to start with.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this little prefix tells us which code it's working with. Now, if you just had a code that was just ones and zeros, which is what all computer code is, that's called binary. So it could be 1001110, and that could equal hello, or that could equal something else. Binary code has been adopted because it's extremely efficient. It's extremely space concise. You could put an enormous number of ones and zeros on a chip, even more than you can. I mean, even 8, 5, 12, 12, 15 is kind of bulky compared to 00110.
Yeah.
And done. So now you can send all your messages in this code, and no one will know what you're saying except the person you're talking to.
Okay,
Pretty
so
cool.
I can use this code to help figure out this code.
Well, you can use the principles of this code to help figure out that code, but
okay.
Where did that come from?
Well,
hey, Uncle. After seeing the tech museum, I think I'm going to redesign this whole lab.
Is this about that hot tub you want to install? If you'll excuse me, I have some other things to do. I'll see you all next week.
Hey, Zoe, what you working on?
Trying to crack a code.
Cool stuff.
Secret door code is the Fibonacci sequence. What's the Fibonacci sequence? Come on, really? If you knew all along, then why didn't you just tell me? More fun.
Whoa! I forgot the keys to the particle. Zoe, what are you thinking?
I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't thinking. I mean, I didn't really know what to do. I just got the messages, and then there was the code, and I didn't tell you, and I'm really, really sorry.
Messages
but I
from
just
who?
didn't. I don't
From
know.
me, yeah. I was sending those messages to Zoe to test her, to see if we could trust her with security in the lab. And I guess we can't. Zoe, you've let us all down.
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to.
I think you should go home for the day while I consider your future here.
Wow. You set this whole thing up just to test her? That's messed up.
Of course not. I have no idea what was going on.
Then who sent her the messages?
Well, that's the mystery, isn't it?
So today I got to drive to the tech museum. They had some fresh stuff and I got to see them. They had cool tech that I had to check, and I played with an exhibit, but I got in a wreck. See, I was driving this train, but then I crashed. Can't believe there's a connection between movies and math. Then I went on Google Earth, then I looked at stars. They looked pretty real, like I walked on Mars. Then I went to the lab and it was weird. Heard a really big noise and it wasn't clear what really happened. We have no evidence, but it made me think, who sent those messages?